Thanks for checking out this screencast of FlashGreek Pro, the only New Testament Greek multimedia flashcard app for iOS and Android. Whether you're considering purchasing it or bought it already, this video will cover all aspects of the app. I designed FlashGreek to help learners tackle one of the most difficult things in learning New Testament Greek, all that new vocabulary. Now, there are other flashcards out there, but I wanted to create flashcards that can engage learners on multiple levels. So I'm really happy that this is still the only multimedia flashcard app out there. You'll see in a minute what the multimedia elements are, but let's start with the setup screen. The first dial is to choose the grouping of flashcards you want to study. The top choice is by frequency. Right below that, you see that you can choose the frequency range to study. As you choose, the top left will indicate how many flashcards are in the quiz. So as I move the frequency dials, you'll see the number change. In the iOS version of FlashGreek Pro, and it will come to Android soon too, you can also choose to study by root. So for instance, with this choice of aiteo, 7 words in Greek have this as a root. If you are in an advanced Greek, this is a great way to learn lots of vocabulary. So I'm going to go back to a large frequency range down to 200. "79 cards in total. Now below this is an additional narrowing option. If you only want to drill yourself on the nouns within that frequency, you'd tap nouns, and now you can only have 27. Now that you're done this, you have a defined number of flashcards. The bottom portion is to now tailor the quiz's elements, decide if you want incorrect answers to be repeated, and if you want to mix the flashcards, as opposed to them being alphabetical. You can also choose how many times you need to answer a card correctly during the quiz. So let's start the quiz to see the quiz page with the default settings. The top is obviously the word in question. Below this is a contextual example of the word from Scripture. Notice the Greek word in the English translation. Below this is the image mnemonic. Now once I started this, the audio played with the pronunciation of the Greek word. If you want to replay it, hit the circular play button at the bottom. And if you don't hear the audio, make sure that your mute button is in the correct position. I get lots of emails about that. Notice one more button, the info button. This is a place that you can get some info on the current word. I'll tell you the part of speech and if there are derivative English words as well. Now at this point, you can skip the card or flip the card to see if you're correct. You can either click the flip card button or you can swipe across the image. You will now see the back of the card. You'll see the meaning at the top, the contextual example in all English this time, as well as the text mnemonic that goes with the image. And of course, you want to tell the program if you got it correct or not. Notice now that there is a correct and incorrect count, as well as a remaining count. If I were to skip this card, you'll see a skipped card count as well. So as you see in the actual test view, there is the word, the contextual example, the image mnemonic, and the audio. Now if we go back to criteria, you can understand the bottom options. You can include the images or not on the left side. On the right, you can include the examples or not. In the bottom right, you can choose to have the audio play automatically or not. Now there is one final mode, and that is the slideshow mode. If you check that off, you can choose the amount of delay between cards. I'll put it to 3 seconds. This slideshow mode is still at the beta stage, but some of you may find it helpful. An example way I have found it helpful is to be able to listen to the audio play automatically through while I'm driving. Now one final thing I want to go through is how FlashGreek Pro is compatible with intro Greek grammars. So if we go back up to the top, notice first that there are 2 additional options I want to cover quickly. For those in advanced Greek, learning verb principal parts is often necessary. So this is the place to drill yourself on principal parts. This is the only mobile app I know of that has this principal parts type of option. These are simple text flashcards, but I hope some of you find it useful. A third option is to study by New Testament chapter. This option is specifically for words that are below 50 frequency. Every first-year intro NT grammar I know of teaches at minimum all vocabulary down to 50 frequency. This mode is a way that you can prepare yourself to read a chapter, chapters, or an entire book of the New Testament on your own. So let's say you have completed a year of Greek and you have all words that occur 50 times or more memorized. And you want to prepare yourself to read, say, the Gospel of John chapters 1 and 2. So we create the range with the dials to encompass John 1 and 2. We can then choose the additional narrowing options. Let's leave it as is. Now you'll notice that as I go through a few of these that we see words that don't have the additional media elements. FlashGreek Pro has the multimedia elements for all words down to 20 frequency. If a word doesn't have the elements, then the frequency is 20 or below. There are two reasons I chose 20 as the magic number. First, there are a ton of words in the New Testament, and I had to draw the line somewhere. I chose 20 because I wanted to be compatible with the top intro grammars. I've made sure that there are always multimedia elements for all words introduced by every major grammar. So as I go back to the setup screen, you see that I cover 9 of the top intro grammars on the market, including my own. Let's go down to mounts. You'll see that there are now checkboxes. Just choose the chapter vocabulary list you want to study. You can also combine chapters. Now this is important. Please note that if you are on a smaller device, then the chapter checkbox section scrolls left and right. I'm actually going to switch over to my iPhone screen just to be sure you understand what I mean. Below that is all of the same options you've been introduced to. Simple as that. Choose your grammar, choose the chapter you want to study, and it's all there ready for you with the multimedia elements in place. If you've been on the App Store, you'll also notice that I have several lighter versions of FlashGreek that are specific to a particular grammar. So there's a FlashGreek Mounts edition or a FlashGreek Croy edition. In these lighter versions, you're confined to only the set of cards specific to that intro grammar. Studying by frequency and root by New Testament chapter or principal parts are all exclusive to FlashGreek Pro. If you know you'll be taking more than just an intro year of Greek, I'd highly recommend purchasing FlashGreek Pro over a lighter version. So there you have it. You can read more about this app and my other apps at my website, dannyzacharias.net, where you'll also find my blog and social media connections. And if you have any questions or feedback at all, please just email me using the contact button on my website, or you can leave a comment below this video. Thanks for watching.